Daith da, Ewi Nakan. Welcome to podcast number 162. We had a rare night out last Friday night. Kate and Steve opening their new restaurant there. I suppose 'tis halfway between Nance and Bodmin, I suppose you could say. And we had a good evening out there, I must admit, and hang of a crowd there. And it was just a warm-up. I think their official opening was yesterday. I think they opened Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. But they had a kind of a test run Friday and Saturday last week. So we did pop out there Friday. 'Tis just a few hundred yards up from the bridge down the bottom of the hill that me grampy did widen years ago. Now, he wasn't working for the council at the time, but he was driving to work and he hit ice and he skidded, scat down the old bridge wall. So when they went to rebuild it, they thought while they was doing that, they might as well widen it. So they did widen the bridge. So he did it unintentionally, but they got a nice wider bridge there now. Saturday morning, we was down Penmount Crematorium for a lovely service. Just been refurbished down there. The inside is looking handsome, and they got all these lights now that you can create different moods from, different colours going around the top of, around where the walls kind of meet the ceilings and everything. And the chapel, we was in Trelawney, nearly full. Lovely service for Ian. And then apart from that, I did manage Saturday and Sunday actually to get out on the push bikes a bit, which was brilliant too. Apart from that, I think it was a bit of paperwork as usual and then back into work for a busy Monday. So on Monday, we had Beryl's funeral. Dear Beryl, a neighbour of ours, just lives a few yards down the road, and we had a lovely service. The celebrant actually came down from England to take the service because she knew Beryl. And it was quite touching, I must admit. And then also on Monday, we had a cremated remains burial for Pat here at Eglosale and Dora also at St Breward. So we was, very busy really. And then in the afternoon, 'twas dear John's funeral. And I think you could say John was a proper Delabole boy, born and bred, lived there nearly all of his life. And what changes he must have seen in Delabole over the years. But we had a lovely service for him there. It was actually in our chapel. And then the wake upstairs afterwards. And it went really well. And then on Tuesday, we was on our travels. And that was to Mevagissey. And it's a place where, we've still got family there now. We got cousins there now, which weirdly is on father's side, because 'twas mother's side that come more from Mevagissey, St Austell, St Stephen's way. But Julian is over there. His mother Tish was a cousin of father. And we had the service in Mevagissey Methodist Church, St Andrews. And 'tis a very unique chapel, and I can't think of any other that we go to where the chapel's upstairs and the coffin goes up in a lift. So you go in the main door and then the coffin goes in the lift while all the family walk up the stairs to the chapel upstairs. And it did make me smile a bit. I was hoping everything would go okay, and it did. But there is a sign there by the lift to say sometimes this lift does break down. If it does, ring this number. And it went up fine. We had a lovely service up there. And then we came back down again and the lift seemed to take forever. I thought he's stuck, he's jammed, but he had him. And all was well. But Cora, a lovely Irish lady, married a Port Isaac boy. And so because of that, we had the service at Mevagissey, and then we went all the way coast to coast, really, for the burial in Delian. And I say everything went fine. It was lovely. I was talking to Cora's sister, lovely lady, and she was saying how different the funerals are in Ireland to over here. Now, when I started with Father, we would have funerals on the fourth working day when somebody passed away. But now, 'tis 2 or 3 weeks is the normal. Well, over in Ireland, 'tis still 3 days. And they were saying the community they live in, It's, well, not unusual to have you open the front door of your house and the back door, the coffin is lying there at home. And she said it's not unusual to have 500 people streaming through your house. And the funeral, they said, quite often there could be up to 1,000 there. And they might not know the deceased, but they know a relative of the deceased and feel that they should go. So quite different to over here. It was really interesting to have a lovely chat with her. Another funeral we had this week was dear Donna's funeral. I've known Donna for such a long time because her mum Sherry was such a good friend of ours. And it was lovely to see so many familiar faces there for Donna's funeral. And then also today we was up in Delian again, twice in a week. And that's for Alf's funeral. He was 98. What a fantastic age. I've known Alf for a few years now. They're from Port Isaac. And yeah, what a fantastic age that was. And there was a lovely little community they've got there at Port Isaac. There was a lovely crowd there to say goodbye to him today. Now, I think I said last week that I think Phil's interview this week is going to be a little bit shorter. And that gives me the opportunity to do a couple of things that, well, one I should have done months ago. I received a lovely letter from Wales, from Cardiff. And this was from Tim Saunders. And, oh, it was a fantastic letter. I mean, he was thanking me for the podcast because I think he moved to Wales, if I'm right, over 50 years ago. So he said it was just bringing back, a few memories of Cornwall, of home and things like that. And he sent me a little verse. Now, what he does now, in fact, when he was writing the first letter, he was in the middle of composing these little verses for the new influx of the Cornish bards. And what he was writing is something called a besonnten, which is a little besant. Now, as you know, the besants, we had 15 besants on the Cornish coat of arms. And these actual little poems, they're called that because they're all made of 15 syllables. So they're quite short. And like I say, he was doing one for each new bard. But he also said, if there's any of the families of people that we've cared for that would like one of these besontens, he would do it for them. And dear of him, he actually did one for me. Now, my Cornish is quite basic, really. I can say the words, no problem. But when they're kind of in a sentence, I do struggle a little bit. But I'm going to have a go because I really appreciate this. I really do. And before I start, Tim, I do apologise if I don't do a good job. Mar glór in a vir, un revrons wir, rier var forth here. So there we are. I will do it again. See if I can practice it. Here goes again. Mar glór in a vir, un revrons wir, rier var forth here. Well, I think I was a little bit better that time. I hope I did it right. But what it actually means, if I translate it from Cornish into English, and Tim has obviously done this because of my profession as a funeral director, looking after loved ones. So this is what it means in English. So gently we take care, in devout respect, of dear ones on a long road. And what he means on the long road is those that they've gone on their final journey and they've passed away. So, Tim, that's absolutely brilliant. I'm so sorry I've taken so long to mention you on the podcast, but I've had it here on my desk and I've been meaning to do it. And, I've had another lovely letter from him since as well. 'Tis just one of the positive things that come out of this podcast. Some of you might say it's the only positive thing, but proper job. Wishing you well, Tim. Really appreciate it. And just to prove there is another positive thing, I had an email come not so long ago as Tim's, but it took me a while to reply. We've had a little conversation now, and that's from Ruth up in Scotland. And, a lovely email. Dear her, she's totally blind, and she needed books to be kind of recorded, I suppose, and read over that she could learn because she was doing a degree, and she's actually started learning Cornish now as well. And so the chap that did that was our mutual friend Jared from down here in Padstow. So she got in touch, and we've had a little conversation. And I say she's blind, but she ran the London Marathon this year, and she said it was such a pity that I won there. And I explained that I'm now 60, and I thought my running days are over, really. Long distances. I mean, we run 5-6 mornings a week with the dogs. We get up at 6:30 and run out in the woods kind of thing. But she might have twisted my arm a little bit, because she said her guide runner has now stopped running. And I said, I don't know if I fancy doing another marathon because of the time involved, but maybe next year, maybe the pair of us, we might run a half marathon together, and perhaps through a charity or other. So it's just lovely. I mean, I get all these lovely messages, but this was, I'll say, Tim's from Wales, Ruth's from Scotland. I get them from, America, wherever. It's fantastic. So thank you all. 'Tis much appreciated. If you do message me, don't be surprised if it takes a while for me to reply. But like we say down here, I'll do it directly. Right, so now over to our last part with Phil, our dear friend Phil. This has gone down really well. People say, what a lovely voice you've got. They say, like, 'tis soothing, it makes you relax. And I must say that's very true, because quite often I do nod off when he's talking to me. But, no, you don't. I'm joking, Philip, I'm joking. So anyway, over to the last part now, and then I will speak to you directly with me Cornish word of the week and me Cornish dialect. So here it is.
So I retired in September 2009, and then I went back to work for them again.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, I went back in the inquiry office at Bodmin.
That's right, yeah.
I did 18 months there.
Yeah.
I started off at the Old Nick, which is where Lidl's is now, and then they went and scat that down, which was nothing to do with me. They built the new one up the top, but because it was out of the town, they rented an office off the council down by the Shire House.
Right.
And it was a lovely office, but nobody knew it was there.
No,
and they'd come in and see me and say, we want to see a policeman. And I said, it's me or nothing.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't go up the top. And eventually they realised it wasn't working.
Yeah.
And they opened one up at the top in the main building up there.
Yeah. And then you come to work for us then?
And then I come to work for you.
Yeah.
But it's a sort of natural progression, because the police dealt with sudden deaths a lot.
Yeah.
And the process changed over the years. When I was at Torbay, you go, the undertakers would turn up, you put the paperwork in the body, and off it would go to the mortuary. Mm. When I went down to Newquay, that didn't happen.
Right.
The undertaker would come out and take the body to the little mortuary at Fair Park Cemetery, like you used to have one here in town.
That's right, yeah.
And then you had to go to the post-mortem.
Did you?
And I only ever saw one when I was in training, and it was a lovely old chap, Doc Hawke.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember.
He used to turn up in an old Triumph 2000 bow tie, and it was only a small little mortuary at Fair Park. And he said, do you like bodies? And I said, not really, no. He said, will you stand in the doorway there? He said, you make some notes while I crack on. And he was doing whatever he was doing. He said, well, just come and have a quick look at this a minute. It's interesting. And before you knew it, you were watching it, and you made it so interesting. Yeah. And then you accept what was going on.
Yeah. Because when I started first, postmortems at Treadwell, us funeral directors could be in the mortuary while they were taking place. You know,
it's changed totally.
It has changed, yeah.
And when I was down at Penzance, the main mortuary for West Cornwall was in West Cornwall Hospital.
Right.
So out of hours, any sudden deaths that came in, or fatals or whatever, one of the policemen had to go up, get the keys. We'd go in, log the body in, search it, tag it, and enter it in the register.
Yeah.
But now it's all done centrally down at Treadwell.
Treadwell, exactly. And we didn't have a bad time while you was working here. You've retired from here about 3 times and you're still going.
I don't know why. The abuse you get in here, but I suppose I enjoy it, really, don't I?
Yeah, it is good, isn't it? We've got a good little team here, really.
It doesn't feel like work, Dave. It's a pleasure to come in.
Oh, dear me.
Can you pay me now?
Yeah, I'll keep that bit in.
No, it is. It's lovely working here.
Brilliant. Oh, that's good. That is good. So obviously earlier on we talked about the rugby.
Yes.
Was that your main hobby growing up,
I
or?
love rugby. I wasn't particularly good. I played for a junior club down at Redruth, which was a grammar school old boys. And I suppose really that was my first contact with Raybridge, because we used to play the Camels. There
Right.
wasn't a league basis back then. There were just the junior clubs would play each other. And I think it was 76 we got in the final of the junior knockout cup.
Yeah.
And we played Weybridge Camels down at Newquay.
Yeah, brilliant.
And I've kept the programme from them, which you've got a copy of.
I've got a copy here, yeah.
And if you look through the team sheet for Redruth Grammar School Old Boys, you'll see I'm in the second row.
Yeah.
And my opposite number for Weybridge Camels is 1T Gardner,
Terry Gardner, yeah.
who obviously works for you now as well.
Yeah, that's right.
And, I didn't know him until I came here, and then we started chatting, and we worked out that we both played for Cornwall Junior Group in the same game. We were second rows together up in Plymouth.
Brilliant. Who won that match then?
The cup final, Weybridge won. They always did.
You're right.
They always did. They were a very, very strong side. And if you look at some of the names of the players there.
Was that be Ted Wills?
Yes, I think it is.
Ted, Mike Osborne?
Mike Osborne, he was Redruth.
Ah, that would be Ted. So who would that T Wills there? Because that would be Edward, would it? Would that be Ted? I'm not too sure. Rob X, Dougie Yelland.
Yeah, he'd played for Redruth, so he was sort of on his way down then.
Ah, right, yeah.
And you got John May in the front row. That's before he went to Redruth.
Keith Hawke, Dave Pokenhorn, obviously Terry Gardner, Phil Hawke, Richard X, Graham Hawke. Yeah, a lot of names there that people would know. Art Jenkin, would that be Richard Jenkin? I'm not too sure about that.
Dave.
And I see your captain was a Bray.
Yeah, Archie. The old Archie.
No, that is good.
But it's good. I loved my rugby. The first time I ever went abroad was playing rugby. When I was at school, we did an exchange visit to Germany.
Ah, yeah.
I was only about 14, 15, and we went over there. And then when I was stationed at Penzance, my younger boy, he started playing junior and mini rugby down there.
Yeah.
And I ended up coaching them and looking after them.
Did he? Yeah.
And at the time, Dickie Evans was the main backer for the Pirates. And he came over and he was chatting in the bar one night and he said, "Oh, you're under 13s. That's the same age as my son out in Kenya." He said, "It'd be nice if we did a tour out there." He said, "Leave it me, I'll sort it out."
Brilliant.
And there were 6 of us, took a party of 20 under 13s to Kenya for 2 weeks.
Did you really?
Yeah, and it was brilliant. God. It was really good fun. We went on safari, played 4 or 5 games. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So rugby has done me well.
Definitely. Of course, you said your boy. We haven't mentioned your boys yet, and when they was born. And
yeah, well, Stuart, he's the oldest. He's up in Newcastle now. He's got his own business. He's a trainer. And then Neil is 3 years younger than him, but Neil joined the police force as well.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was Avon and Somerset, and it was a nice touch because he told them that I'd been in Devon and Cornwall.
Yeah.
And they actually gave him my old number.
Oh, that's good.
So there were 2 PC954 Trevenas.
God, brilliant.
Neil played rugby. He played for Cornwall under-21s, and then he went on and played for Western-super-Mare and Somerset, and he played 4 summers out against Cornwall.
Did he really?
Yeah, sort of split.
Well, that was an interesting match.
Yeah. So we've got Stuart's up in Newcastle and Neil's up in Somerset.
Yeah, brilliant.
So there are Trevenas all over the place still.
Exactly. And obviously, you still go. You watch the Camels a bit. Do you watch Redruth a bit?
Yeah,
as well?
It normally works out quite well that when Camels are home, Redruth are away, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But it's nice to go and watch both. When I go and watch the Camels, I can have a couple of drinks down, and it's a lovely club. It's very very friendly, and of course, Chrissy Taylor was a couple of years above me at school.
Oh, was he?
He's a Redruth boy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, sorry, Chris, but you are.
Yeah.
And I used to play against him. He used to play for Redruth Albany. I went to school with his sister down there as well.
Yeah.
So there's lots of sort of connections, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is nice.
Definitely. Oh, that's brilliant. Anything else you want to mention about the rugby or no?
No, I'd say I enjoyed it. I try and go to Twickenham once a year and take me 2 boys, so we have a boys' outing up there.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's something I've always loved, and I think I always will.
Yeah, definitely.
It's as much watching it as it was playing it.
Yeah. I mean, Camels, they got a very strong club here now.
It's a
haven't they?
lovely club. It's a very, very
Yeah.
friendly club down there, and it's a good side as well.
How about Redruth then? Are they as strong as they used to be or no?
It's unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it, Camborne are doing really well because they've got a financial backer down there. But Redruth have always been a half decent side. And I'll always follow them, and it's always the home of Cornish rugby.
Yeah.
You know, Hellfire Corner is what people associate with rugby and Cornwall there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because on our first recording that we did earlier, I don't think we mentioned it on the second one, we were saying how that years ago Redruth was a thriving town, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it was the mining centre of the world, I think, like, you know, where it's completely different now, isn't it?
It's sad to go down there as much as it's my home. It's depressing walking up through the main street. And I think that's part of the reason as well. Camborne is on the level.
Right.
Redruth, you've got two steep hills, but there's so many empty shops, and it's sad to see it when you think back what it was. It's like Bodmin, I suppose, in some respects.
Totally.
When you think what that was like, so many independent shops.
Yeah.
They've all gone now.
I mean, when Father used to finish work on a dinner time on a Saturday, we always went Bodmin shopping Saturday afternoon. Yeah. And like I say, it was thriving.
But I do love Redruth still, and I collect old postcards, and I've probably got 300 old cards of Redruth, and to look back and see as it was, it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was all to do with the mining. The mining stopped.
Yeah.
And the money disappeared.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Phil. I think that's brilliant. I think before we do go, any like funny stories or anything that sticks in your mind you want to share with us?
Well, there is one. I got on Radio 1 and in the Sun. When I was stationed at Newquay. I was the neighbourhood beat officer for the town, and we had a bit of a problem with knickers being stolen.
Right.
And once a week, we'd find a dozen or so knickers in Edge up at Treloggan. And because it was on my patch, they'd all end up on my desk. So I ended up with a pile of about 70 knickers on my desk. And we didn't know who they belonged to.
No.
So I put a piece in the local paper saying if anybody was missing their knickers, would they come forward so we knew where they were going? Of course, nobody did, but you could see some of the knickers, you'd understand why. Well, not only did it go in the local press, the Sun got all of it.
Oh, no.
And they put a piece in saying all the women in Newquay are knickerless. And then Radio 1 got hold of it.
Oh, brilliant.
And saying about how I was looking into all these knickerless women in Newquay, but nobody ever came forward. And although we had an idea who it was, we could never prove anything.
An unsolved crime.
Unsolved crime.
That is brilliant. I love that. Brilliant. Oh, lovely. Well, thank you, Matt. I think that was really good. And I say we'll come back again because you're still so young that there must be other things we will think about. So we will have another episode in the future. All right? So if you want to say goodbye to the world now.
That's lovely, Dave. Thanks for your time. And I hope people haven't found it too boring. And goodbye to the world and Camborne.
Beauty, thank you. Well, wasn't that brilliant? Dear old Phil, he's a proper chap. I would say we met him years ago when we used to do the coroner removals, and he would be there as the police officer on behalf of the coroner. And he was lovely with the families and everything. One funny tale I do remember, and I'm sure he won't mind me telling you this, and if I tell you, as long as you don't tell nobody else, that's fine. But we did have a call once at a nursing home, and obviously Phil had gone with the staff to see the person that had passed away, then went back to the office. We then had the call, and he was there in the office of the nursing home, and then we turned up, and the matron said, PC Trevena, if you'd like to take Mr. Bray and his colleague to the room, that would be lovely. So Phil led us to the room. I said, what number are we looking for, PC Trevena? And he said something like room number 36 or something like that. So we walking around and we turn in the next corner and the next corner. He said, I'm sure it is down here somewhere. And then we went round again and we walking. We must have gone round for a good 5 minutes. We then saw a member of staff. So she said, can I help you? So Phil said, yeah, we're looking for room number 36. And she said, we've only got 32 rooms. So she did show us to the right room. But I know that you won't tell anybody else, and I'm sure Phil most probably stopped listening to this by now anyway, so he won't know about it. But if you see it in the street, don't say anything about it. Now, for me Cornish word of the week, this is a house name that we come across this week, and it means house by the brook or stream. And I can see where I think they got the name, because there is the little brook that goes underneath the property close by it. So it's actually Cheegovan. Cheegovan. Now, it's spelt CHY, the first bit, and a lot of people pronounce that wrong. That's the Cornish for house, and a lot of people say chai or shy. So you might say chai, but you pronounce it chi, rhymes with tea. Well, that's obvious. Yeah, so it's Cheegovan, which is house by the brook or house by the stream. And that's me Cornish for this week, as well as, of course, Tim's that we had earlier on. For me dialect, somebody actually said this to me the other week. They were talking, you don't get it so much these days, but years ago you used to get people that were pretty bow-legged, if you know what I mean. They had a bend in their legs sort of thing. And there was something that I'd heard years ago, forgot all about. But if they saw somebody that was pretty bow-legged, and they'd look at them and they'd say, "Cool, he couldn't stop a pig in an alley." So there we go. I'll say it again. He couldn't stop a pig in an alley. Right, well, there we are. So that's it for this week. Another podcast has come and gone. And looking forward to next week now. Now, I know some of you would think, well, how on earth can we top Phil Trevena's 3 weeks, A Boy from Redruth, on this podcast? And well, there's only one way I could really top that. And next week, we got A Boy from Camborne. Wish ye well. Do Gannis. Kerno Bisfican.